With every new Nintendo console, a new Pokémon game is sure to follow, and the main series has finally made its home console debut on the Switch with Sword and Shield. Upon its reveal, people were excited for it like you would normally expect, but long story short, a bunch of stuff happened in the months leading up to its release that caused a lot of people to swear them off. I wasn't going to buy into all of it and save my thoughts for when I played the game for myself. To avoid spoilers, I also blocked every single word I could think of online and took a full media blackout 3 weeks before the games came out. Nothing was going to ruin my potentially good time with these games, and now that I've beaten it, I'm here to tell you what I thought of them. There's some good, some bad, but let's start off with what I liked. Well, for one, this is the best looking Pokemon game in the main series thus far. Not everything is up to current standards, but when things look good, they look really good. The animations for important cutscenes and especially for a lot of attacks I found pretty darn beautiful. The soundtrack was also fantastic, with every battle theme being a killer hit. Veteran composer Junichi Masuda didn't do a single track here, which is kind of a shock, but the other composers did a great job once again. Go Ichinose knows how to make a frenetic battle theme. Beat's theme was an instant favorite from the first time I heard it in a trailer. The gym battle theme is probably my absolute favorite in the game, but I'll get back to that in a minute. A majority of the game's characters have wonderfully unique designs and charming personalities, and this gets extended to the rivals too. Hop started out a little annoying, but he turned out to be much more than a Galarian How. I like how he had a legit reason for picking the starter weak to yours, and how his team never stayed the same over the course of the story. He had a genuine character arc, and by the end it was great seeing it all unfold. I even felt bad he was destined to lose to my character no matter how hard he tried. Bede was also an interesting fellow. I wasn't sure what his deal was at the start aside from a straight up jerk, but he found his true calling by the end too. And on top of that, his turning point in the story was really funny, and dare I say, fabulous. And I love how the league cards characters give you have little blurbs that expand on what makes them tick. I didn't even know those were there until I flipped one over by mistake, but this is the kind of stuff I live for. Some of the standout gym leaders include Milo, Nessa, Bee, Alistair, Opal, and Melanie. Going off that, gym battles came back in a big way, pun partially intended. I love the idea of battles being showcased in front of a crowd, and when it comes down to the leader's last Pokemon and the crowd cheers along with the music, did that ever send tingles down my spine. You can't not Dynamax when that happens. Speaking of which, Dynamaxing I found to be pretty alright. It doesn't crop up a lot in the story and only lasts for 3 turns, so it's not shoved down your throat at all. And like I said, acts as a great finale to an important battle. Plus the Gigantamax forms for certain Pokemon are really cool. I still thought Mega Evolutions and Z moves were more impactful, but Dynamax is a happy medium between the two. For things I was less excited about, the game's story was pretty okay, but there were some parts where I checked out mentally. The elevator sequence near the end was supposed to be grand and all, but I was just mashing A hoping I'd get to the top soon and back to the match with Leon. Marnie was criminally underused and Team Yell fell kinda flat. It was nice they weren't out to destroy the world, and I still think they had more to them than Team Flare ever did, but they were pretty weak as a whole, especially coming off the heels of Team Skull. Lots of people complain about how behind the times Pokemon can be with its graphical prowess, and while I didn't let that bother me, there were a few times where it couldn't be ignored. The cities of Galar looked amazing, but that beauty was skin deep because there's a whole lot of nothing to do in most of them. Balin Lee was jaw-dropping when I first saw it, but aside from the gym, there's 2 houses to visit and that's it. And Spikemuth had a great atmosphere and gave off some Detective Pikachu vibes, but the entire town was literally a straight line. At one point in the story, there was a whole thing about Dynamaxed Pokemon destroying the city, something that would have been cool to see that was resolved entirely off screen. And speaking of which, was it wrong of me to expect some type of cutscene for the region famous Corviknight taxi, even for just the first time? But at least these gripes don't make the game frustrating to play. No, that goes to the online system, which seems to get worse and worse every generation. Now, if you're not sitting immediately next to your friends, you're gonna have one heck of a time getting together for something as simple as a trade. I don't know whose idea was to implement this 4-digit code nonsense, but I hope they got a serious slap on the wrist. How did we go from something as convenient as the PSS to whatever this is? Another set of crapshoots come in the form of the raid battles. The ones with a 1 to 3 star rating are fine on your own, but 5-star battles are near unplayable with only NPCs at your side. I've spent nearly an hour trying to take down Gigantamax Pokemon, and all the AI did for me was serve as cannon fodder, if they weren't trying to screw me over. Like, for the love of God, stop using fire moves on the Flash Fire Centiskorch! much. But I'm not here to rag on Sword and Shield all day because I want to go over what made them so awesome. Never before had I gone into a Pokemon game as blind as I did with these ones. For the first time in my life, I had no idea what any of the starters would evolve into. And I think I'll do that from here on out because the best part of an all-new Pokemon game are the surprises, and there were a lot. Even for things that I saw officially I didn't know everything about. Cramorant with a Pikachu in its mouth had me at a complete loss for words. And like, holy crap, evolutions for Galarian forms. Such a cool idea that opened my eyes in ways I haven't felt in a long time. Obstagoon, Cursula, Runerigus, man, Runerigus. I can't tell you the kinds of things that were going through my mind trying to comprehend that, yeah, these are a real thing now. I also love how the PC is accessible at practically any time, which was introduced in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, so I'll give them that. I usually switch up Pokemon to try new things out, but here my team was constantly being cycled and I used just about anything and everything new. I even did the unthinkable and put my starter in the box a few times, but it didn't feel too weird because I could have them back in the party in 2 shakes of a Wooloo if I wanted. The experience share was also very well balanced, and when adding a lower level Pokemon into circulation, I had no problem bringing it up to speed with my other team members. The wild area was another great feature. There's something special about running away from a Golisopod out to murder you or being surrounded by a sea of Crawdon. Random encounters are still very much present through exclamation points, so the surprise of finding something you didn't know about is still present, but without all the in-between crap. And what they did with the Name Raider is amazing. Most fans can agree farming for heart scales was never fun, and giving your Pokemon the moveset you want is easier than ever now. If I needed to forget a move, I never had to worry because I could relearn it or swap it out as much as I wanted. And Pokemon that evolve with stones get a huge bonus from this. If you get yourself a Lombre for instance and evolve it early, you have access to every move this thing could have learned right then and there. It feels kinda dirty, but at the same time feels really good. And as much as you might not believe it, there are a lot of great little details with Pokemon animations and mannerisms. The first thing that caught my ear was the fact that flying Pokemon make an audible noise when flapping their wings, and I was legit surprised by that. And in the overworld, when wild Rhyhorn charge you, they run in a straight line, and Wobbuffet never chase you and turn around if you're in their way. That is some serious attention to detail. Truth be told, I had a lot more fun with this game than the internet told me I should. Are there problems with it? Sure there are, and there's ample room for improvement, but when I was playing, I was having fun with a Pokemon game like I always have been. In my Sun and Moon review, I said whatever Game Freak was up to for Gen 8 they were going to be fine, and Sword and Shield are more than fine. They're pretty solid. When Pokemon makes the jump from one console to the next, it's never perfect, but I think Sword and Shield were a more solid jump than X and Y were for the 3DS. But you know, between releasing Let's Go and these games back to back, it wouldn't surprise me if Game Freak was a little exhausted. I'm fine with a bit of breathing room between games, even if the higher-ups at the Pokemon company think otherwise. I'm hoping / expecting the next games to be better, but these are pretty great. And with the advent of multiple profiles on Switch, I could have a new file without erasing my old one for the first time. I could even do a Nuzlocke if I wanted to, but I digress. Game Freak, I hope you haven't taken the backlash too personally, and I'm looking forward to whatever's next. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, feel free to give this video a like, share with a friend, subscribe, check out my social media pages, my Patreon page, you know, all that good stuff that I always go on about. And while you're here, feel free to check out the videos I got on screen right here. Might I recommend the video where me and my brother battled each other in Sword and Shield and we revealed new Pokemon to each other that we didn't know about at the time? I figured since this is the first time I can record a Pokemon game, why not take advantage of the occasion in a special way? So yeah, give that a watch. And with all that said, I will see you guys next time. Later!